rank more Bluey episodes. We got less than halfway last night, so I've got quite a bit to go. Happy Father's Day. Not Happy Father's Day to you, but happy. Thank you, Kitty. Thank you for the well wishes. Let's get upstairs. Let's talk about it. All right, we've got quite a few episodes left to review, so we don't have any time to dink around. Here is the current tier list. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We just did that last time. We'll go through this a little bit as the night goes on. Basically, Sleepy Time is at the top, along with Charades. Favorite Thing is at the bottom. Those are the episode rankings so far. And we have like 30 episodes to do tonight, so we need to jump into it right after I drink a delicious sip of coffee. Thank you for the follow. Are we ready to do this? Let's do this. Let's start. Okay, so our first episode of Bluey is Stump Fest. So I didn't have the frames for Stump Fest, and I got them last night. So, excuse me. Our first episode of the evening, Stump Fest, starts out with the kids in the backyard. They're just playing some, happy doodle, kid game where they're playing with their hands. And then the dads come in and they're like, oh, heck yeah, Stump Fest. And then Stripe comes in and he's like, Stump Fest. And then Muffin comes in and she's like, heck yeah, Stump Fest. And then she falls on her face. So this is Stump Fest. And the kids are like, what the hell? What's Stump Fest, Dad? And Dad's like, well, you see that stump? And you see that stump, and that stump, and that stump, this one, and that one. These are the stumps we're going to get rid of. We're going to drink a bunch of beer, and me, your uncle Stripe, and the next door neighbor Pat are going to come over and rip some stumps out of the ground, and it's going to be a whole day of it. And the moms are on the back porch, and they're drinking beer. Actually, that's not beer. That's probably like a spiked tea or something, but they are very clearly day drunk as well. Everybody is day drunk, and that's okay. It is an exciting day of Stump Fest in Australia. So the dads get at it. They go and hack up the first stump, and the kids are like, well, that's something. That's something that the parents are doing. What do you think we should do? They say it's alcohol, but every adult knows it's alcohol. They never actually say it's alcohol, but I think they are drinking like a tall boy later. So Bluey's like, oh, I know what we should do. We should do a nail salon right here on this stump. And Bluey's like, Dad, can we do a nail salon over here on the stump? And Bandit's like, okay, that's fine, but hey, remember how when I pointed to the stump and I was like, we're gonna rip that stump out of the ground? You have until we're done with this stump, and then we're gonna rip up that stump. And Bluey's like, okay. And Bandit's like, I don't feel like I have your full attention, because we're going to rip up that stump, and I feel like you're going to get upset. Bluey's like, no, it's fine. It's Stump Fest. Go ahead. And Bandit's like, all right. And they start ripping up that stump. Root beer sounds good right now. Root beer does sound good. He should make Bluey sign contracts. Bluey, you need to make sure that this stump, Bluey, got it. You know what would happen later? I don't see my signature. That's what Bluey would do. So they get at it. They rip up the stump, and the girls are like, all right, we're good. We're golden. Let's do this. So they paint the stump all pretty colors. They get the stump all nice and prettied up. And they're like, oh, we need some customers. Let's go find some people to paint the nails. Meanwhile, the dads are ripping it open. I think that is a tall boy down there at the bottom. They got a cooler. It's basically, it seems that Stump Fest is one guy hacking at a stump while two other guys screw around, is the entirety of Stump Fest. Meanwhile, the mom's getting their nails done, and they're like, thanks, girls, you did a great job. And then they're like, we need more customers. Let's go get Dad. And then Bluey's like, Dad, can we paint your nails? And Dad's like, nah, Stump Fest. We're doing stumps. Remember the stumps we're doing? And yeah, we got the stump out of the ground. And the moms are like, heck yeah, and heck yeah. And Bluey's like, All right. Well, I guess they don't want it. I guess they don't want that. I'm gonna paint your I'm gonna paint your nails there, Muffin. The dads come over and they're like, "Hi, we're here." And Bluey's like, "Oh yes, you want your nails painted?" And Bandit's like, "No, we're here to rip up your stump." And Bluey's like, "The hell you are! This is our nail salon. You're not gonna do that." And Bandit's like, "We went over this. You said you would be okay with us ripping up the stump. Remember the pointing? Remember the pointing we did at the beginning?" And Bluey's like, "I don't remember jackass." And Bingo's like, "Why would you rip up our stump?" And the dads are getting all upset, and they're like, "Okay, Chili, you need to get these kids away from the stump because they're making a human chain." And you need to get these kids out because we need to get rid of this stump. And the mom's like, "Oh, let him play with the damn stump." Mom is incredibly day drunk up here. Let him do it. It's fine. They're just playing their game. And the dads are like, "What the hell? No, they can't keep playing with the stump if it's Stump Fest." And the moms are like, "Just leave the stump alone." And Bandit's like, "You're the one who wanted me to get rid of the stump." And Chili's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to put in a fish pond in the backyard." And then Trixie's like, "Ooh, that sounds nice." Boo! Leave the stump alone. They are just way too drunk to be helping out. So Bandit's over here like, "Okay, optics aren't good here. I'm gonna go talk to their leader, see what's up." And Bandit's like, "Okay, Bluey, what's it gonna take for us to rip up the stump?" And Bluey's like, all right. We're gonna pay. You can rip up our nail salon if we paint your nails and toenails and face paint. And Bandit's like, I don't think they're gonna agree to that. They don't agree to that. They're very upset with the idea of the makeover. And Bandit's like, "Fine, you can paint the fingernails and toenails, but no face paint." And Bluey's like, "One face paint." And Bandit's like, "Fine, all right." And then the girls run off. A whole montage of them getting their nails painted. It's very adorable. The moms are being no help. Moms are being absolutely no help whatsoever. They finally get done with this, and then the dads are like, "All right, it's time to rip up the stump." And then Bluey's like, "No, I changed my mind. We want to play a little longer with the stump." And Bandit's about to throw down. And finally, Mom puts down her glass long enough to be like, "All right, Bluey, you promised. You made a deal." And Bluey's like, "Oh, fine. Why did they interrupt our game?" And she's like, "Well, you did make a promise." And she's like, "Well, you shouldn't. We were playing, and you shouldn't interrupt people while they're playing." And Chili's like, "I know, and that's why I didn't let you interrupt them while they were playing." And Bluey's like, "They weren't playing. They're ripping up a stump. It's just ripping up a stump, Mom. It's not playing at all." And Chili's like, "Are you sure? Just watch them for a little while." And meanwhile, these guys over here are just doing, roughhousing and laughing at each other and throwing cans. And Bluey's like, "Oh my God, holy shit, they really are playing. The dads are playing." And Chili's like, "You got it." And Bluey's like, "I was interrupting them." And then meanwhile, Bingo and Muffin are ready to throw down and go to war. And Bluey's like, "You know what? I've got a better game. I don't think we're going on super fast mode tonight." They finally get the stump out of the ground and go nuts with it because they too are day drunk. And the girls have decided on a new game where they got lemonade for the dads. And the Bluey's like, "You guys have been working so hard." And apparently the lemonade sucks because that's the face they make at the end. And that is the first of the episodes we have to do. That was Stump Fest. I like Stump Fest. I do too. Our parents would never allow this. We wouldn't allow this. We wouldn't allow that at all. I'm going to put Stump Fest. I'm thinking I like it in A. I like it better than I like Dance Mode. And I like it better than Army. I personally like it better than the show, but not more than the Squash. I'm lowering the show a little bit for me personally. It's not that I'm liking the episode any less. I just think for me personally, it's going down a little bit. Flat Pack. Flat Pack is our next episode. So the family gets back from just noticed Roar TV. So the family gets back from IKEA basically, and the kids are like, "Oh, yay! Can we play with the boxes?" And they're like, "Yeah, fine, whatever. Go play with this shit." And Bluey's like, "Oh, look, we could pretend to be fish. We could pretend to be tadpoles." And they're like, "Blub blub." No, I think they're fish here. So yeah, let's pretend to be fish. And they're like, "Blub blub. I'm the mom fish, and you're the baby fish." So they're blubbing in the water over here. Chili and Bandit are trying to follow the directions on how to build this swing and having kind of a rough time of it. They're kind of squabbling with each other the whole time. It becomes a theme of the episode. Meanwhile, Bluey and Bingo are still being fish, and they're like, "Look, it's dry land. We could pretend to be frogs, I think." Yeah, they're pretending to be frogs now. The Chili and Bandit are putting together more stuff. I think Loud Thunder. I think I hear a rumbling. They put the tails on and then they become lizards. There's not basically there's two stories going on throughout this episode. The Chili and Bandit are getting sort of pissed off with each other while they're putting together the furniture, and the kids are just going nuts down here. They're going through basic evolution down here. They're going from fish to lizards, and I think, oh god, what are they here? I think they're monkeys, something like that. I don't know. They go to some other form of critter. I think they're birds. I don't remember all of the different stuff that they turn into. It's kind of irrelevant. They just go to different stuff. I don't really remember. Do you remember, Kitty? Apparently Russian roulette doesn't remember either. Why doesn't Russian roulette work? That's exciting. Here. I'm going to reset that, and that should work in a minute. Meanwhile, these two now are in the monkey stage, so they are swinging from the trees, and now they have a cave, so they turn into cave dogs. There we go. It's reconnecting. There we go. Let's see. Does Russian roulette work now? No. Cool. I wonder if something is broken. Anyways, so they turn into cave dogs, and now they are going to be drawing their history up on the wall. So here we go. So they turned it from fishes to lizards to, I don't know what that is. Dinosaurs, maybe? They might have been dinosaurs. Then they were birds, and then monkeys, and now they're cave dogs. And meanwhile, Bluey's over here like, ooh, 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 the whole time. And it's pretty fun to watch. Apparently, hey, slot machine works. Why doesn't Russian roulette work? Hey, there you go. Maybe it works now. Let me push this other button real fast, since I had to reset that. How are you, Kitty? Have you had a nice day? Has everything been lovely? All right. We should be set. So that is them seeing Mom and Dad being upset on the porch, and they're like, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ooh. And meanwhile, the parents are like, "Oh, look at the kids down there. Look at those kids down there having a great time. We made those kids. You know what? Let's put together the thing, and we should stop yelling at each other." And then that's what they do. They put together the whole swing sets. And then the kids, and then finally they get rid of all of the they finally make the whole thing, and they don't need the little tools. And the kids are like, look, we've got the tools the parents had. Now we are as gods, which isn't exactly what they say, but it's basically the theme. They move into the next stage of civilization over here, and Bluey's like, hello, daughter. You've done well today. And Bingo's like, well, I'm not, a little girl anymore, Mom. I'm a big girl, and I'm gonna go explore the universe. And Bluey's like, I've always been so proud of you. And then Bingo goes off and explores the universe, and Bluey's like, well, now what do I do? And then the parents are like, get up here and relax with us, and this is heaven. It's really hard to explain Flat Pack without actually seeing it, but there's a lot of interesting themes going on with Flat Pack, with like evolution, with the family dynamic. I like Flat Pack a lot. I was mentioning to Kitty, I think some things need to get dropped down. I think Queen's no, actually, I'm not going to mess with that for now. Flat Pack, I think I like Flat Pack less than Stumpfest, but more than the show. Like right about here, I think anything more than the show is going to be my barometer. Anything right above there. It has been for today for you. It has been a good day. It has been I worked through most of it, but it has been otherwise a good day. The next episode is Bus. This is an episode where Bandit is pretending to drive a bus. I'm pretty sure Bandit has had like every form of public transportation as it has been his role play. He pretends to drive the bus, and Chili is the passenger on the bus, and she's acting really timid, and she's making little googly eyes at him the whole time. And then Bandit picks up some more passengers who end up being Rita and Janet, the old lady cosplay of the girls. They love being old ladies more than anything else. So they get back to the back with Chili, and they're like, "Hello, little lady. How are you?" And she's like, well, I'm okay, but I'm actually really nervous because I'm in love with the bus driver. And Janet and Rita are like, oh shit, that guy? Oh man, he's a honk. Why don't you go ride that? Or something along those lines. She's like, no, I couldn't. I'm too nervous to go talk to him. And it's like, what? You're too young for that. You got your whole life ahead. You need to go talk to him. Don't worry. You need to spend some time. She's like, I need some more time. We'll make a diversion. Hey, bus boy, you stop right now. He's like, well, this isn't your stop. You were going to Mahjong. And she's like, oh, all right. And he's like, all right, well, here you go. Here's the auto parts store or something like that. And she's like, I don't actually need to go here. Never mind. And he's like, oh, okay, well, don't ask me to stop if you don't need to stop, damn it. And Rita's like, don't worry, I got this. I need you to stop again. Nope, this ain't it either. And Bandit's getting pissed, like, don't make me stop the bus if it's not your stop. Other people need to use the bus. And Chili's like, okay, I won't do it. And you're going to get me in trouble because he's yelling at me now. Bandit, Rita and Janet. They try to get off the bus again, and then Bandit orders them all off the bus. I forget what happens at the end of it. Oh, that's right. He orders the old ladies off the bus, and Rita back there is like, well, let me just get Jeffrey. And Bandit's like, who's Jeffrey? Jeffrey's my snake. And he's like, snake. So he jumps off the bus to get the snake off, but the bus is still driving. So who is it? Rita goes over and drives. And there's a whole bunch of shenanigans of who's driving the bus, and Bandit's running alongside the bus, and Chili's like, I don't know how to drive, but help me, bus driver. I think you're really cute, and I hope we don't die. And Bandit's like, we're gonna die. And they all jump off the bus, and then Chili's like, I've got a confession to make. I really love you, and we could have died, and I want to have your bus babies. And it really is that aggressive. She's like, I want to have your bus babies. And Bandit's like, oh really? Rita and Janet are like, are you okay? Did you die in the bus? And she's like, no, I didn't die in the bus. Chili's like, I did it. I confessed to the bus driver. And they were like, good job, dear. Now go make some bus babies. And she's like, oh no, he's married to a giraffe. And so that love story did not work out. And Rita's like, oh, well, shit. That you need to get away from that giraffe. And then they fight the bus driver, and that's the end of the episode. It was a little spicy. It was a little spicy. Not much to be said for the episode, though. I don't like the episodes where the whole episode is them running around being frantic. I know that's a lot of the episodes, but episodes like Bus, not a lot happens other than slapstick and running. I don't think I liked Bus more than Sticky Gecko. I don't think I like Bus more than Feather Wand, but I like it more than Trains. I do like Bus more than Trains, so I think right down there at the in the middle of D works out. Speaking of middle of D, Mum School is the next episode. Mum School is an episode where Bluey is pretending that she has a bunch of balloons and the balloons are her babies. There's also a B plot going around where Bingo is running around the house refusing to brush her teeth. So Bandit is literally chasing her around the house. Meanwhile, Chili's like, all right, Bluey, you got to get in the bath because I can smell you from here. And Bluey's like, well, I wanted to play Mom School with you. And she's like, what the hell is Mom School? And Bluey's like, it's where we grade each other on being moms, or basically you grade me on being a mom. And these are my children. And Chili's like, well, who's that? And she's like, oh, Greenie, I think his name is. Greenie, you're always such a troublemaker. Here's your checklist. Now grade me on being a mom. This is a chaotic episode. Bluey is basically yelling at balloons the entire episode. She's like, all right, Jeremold and Dingledop and Dabbleboob, you need to get on the couch. And Greenie, you are being a troublemaker. I need you to leave me alone, sweetheart. Basically, it's an episode of this is a child who doesn't know how to sit still. And Greenie just keeps on floating up to the ceiling every time. Meanwhile, Bingo's still running around the house at full tilt. Bluey is kicking her children down the hallway, and Greenie is being held by Chili. And Chili's like, maybe they don't know how to walk. Maybe you need to show them. And Bluey's like, oh, I'll show them. Whack! Whack! She just whacks them with wrapping paper. And Greenie also gets whacked with the wrapping paper. All the children get into the bath, and she goes to Greenie, and she's like, okay, Greenie, if I let you out, are you going to get in the bath, or are you just going to float up to the ceiling? And Chili's like, what the heck? He's going to float to the he's going to float to the ceiling. And Chili's like, I'm going to give him a whack. If he floats the ceiling, I'm going to give him an old whack. And Chili's like, no more whacking in Mom School. We're not going to whack anybody. And Bluey's like, well, what do I do then? And Chili's like, well, let's take a look and see what an expert would do. I've got somebody in Dad's school that I'm going to grade. And Bandit finally caught Bingo. And he's like, all right, go brush your teeth, dipshit. You stand here. And then, she's like, ooh, good job. He got her to brush his teeth. And then Bandit plays with his phone for a few minutes. And Bingo runs off because he lost attention. This is wild to me. This yanking on shit. This is not how Bingo acts. Bingo's having a weird night. Eventually Bandit I remember. Bandit's like, you're being a real pickle tonight, Bingo. I don't know what's up with you. You must still be hungry. Let's take you to the kitchen and get you something to eat. March. And then Chili's like, wackadoo. Wackadoo. He's doing real good. Top marks. Now do you know what to do? And Bluey's like, you know what, Greenie? I think you got some damn problems, but that's okay, because everyone's got some damn problems. And you just need to be tied down to this G, and then you won't float up to the ceiling anymore. I just need to show you how to be a good kid. And eventually she gets in the bath, and Chili's like, good job, Mom. And then they get out of the bath, and Oh, that's right. She screws around with the hairdryer, but Greenie escapes, which I don't know how Greenie escapes because Greenie is tied down by the G, but I guess that's one of the mysteries we'll never know. Bluey's like, can we get Greenie back? And Chili's like, no, Greenie is like 30 feet up, baby. We're not gonna get Greenie. And Bluey's like, do you think Greenie's gonna be okay? And Chili's like, probably. I don't know. Yeah, sure, why not? Seagull will probably eat him. Yeah, seagulls. Mom school sucks. I don't like mom school very much. It's better than bus, and it's better than trains and hairdressers, but it's not better than Feather Wand. Super windy in Australia. Super windy to be able to lift it with enough lift to get over that weight that's on it. That's what Dad Baby. Oh God, it's Dad Baby. So Dad Baby, I've only seen Dad Baby twice because Dad Baby is an episode that is not on Disney Plus, and I don't know if they really are ever going to put it in Disney Plus because they don't want to explain. They don't want to explain Dad Baby to American audiences. How was my used wiener day? My used wiener day was very nice. Hi, Feelinoid. What's up? This episode is Dad Baby. You're here for a good time. Bingo comes over here and she's like, hey, what is this thing? I found this thing underneath your bed. And Chili's like, oh, it's your bumper do, or whatever it's called. And Bingo's like, what's a bumper do? And Bandit's like, here, I'll show you. Here's a bumper do. You put the baby in here, and the baby sits in there, and it's nice. And Bingo's like this, and Bandit's like, what the, ow, like this? And Bluey's like, aw, Dad's pregnant with a baby. And Bandit's like, I don't really like this game, but the name of the episode is Dad Baby, so I guess that it doesn't matter what Bandit likes. And Chili's like, you know what? I'm gonna sit this game out. And Bluey's like, all right, what is it like being pregnant with a baby? And Dad's like, it's super easy. You get really hungry and you need to go to the kitchen and get something to eat. And you knock into stuff. And what does the baby want in the inside of the fridge? And the baby definitely wants some of these sausages. And it's hard to see, but Bingo is grabbing each of the sausages as he tries to put them into his mouth. Bluey's like, come on, pregnant people need exercise. And Bandit's like, you know what? You exercise your face. I'm going to sit down here. And Chili's like, yeah, it's not that easy, is it? And Bandit's like, yeah, for you, maybe. You know, you might have problems, but I'm awesome. And Chili's like, have fun. And I think, I want to say that Bingo is out there pushing on his stomach. So he's like, Dickus. So Bluey's like, no, you have to have the baby. And Bingo's like, hi, the baby's coming out. And Bluey's like, oh shit, baby's coming out, Dad. You got to do a water birth. And Bluey's like, I think this is right? And Bandit's like, I don't think this isn't how we did it. And Bluey's like, I don't know what I'm doing. We need some help. And then they hear next door, they hear this poor, unfortunate sap, Pat. And Bluey's like, hey, can you come help my dad with something, Mr. Lucky's dad? And Pat's like, oh, no worries, Bluey. I'll help. And Pat's like, I don't mean this. This feels weird. I feel like I shouldn't be involved with this game. And Bandit's like, Pat, we're in this together. And Pat's like, okay, I guess so. But I'm watching the footy. I'm watching the footy, and Lucky's over there like, Dad, they scored a wicket rack, and he's like, oh shit, was Bingus on the doodad? And he's like, yeah, doodad like crazy. And he's like, all right, I got my update on sports. Let's get this baby out of you. And Bingo is being a nut in this episode, and she's like, I don't want to be born. I want to stay in Daddy's tummy. And really gross visual. No wonder they didn't allow this episode on Disney Plus. It's straight up just like, okay. Real talk, I think what happened was there was an executive board meeting and someone paused the episode and they're like, they just turned to them like, we're not putting this shit on TV, right? Like, I'm sorry. They could just skip this episode, right? This is going to be the Porygon episode of Bluey, right? He doesn't need to be fisted in the pool, right? So it kind of actually does make sense. What's your favorite dog name you've ever heard? My favorite dog name I know of is also my favorite cat name, which is Diogi and C80. I don't know if my brother came up with them or if he heard it, but either way, it's the egg. Look in the background there, but up to the left from Rug Island. Kitty, you would recognize that. Anyways, long story short, Lucky finally pulls. Meanwhile, Wendy on the other side of the fence. I think we missed the frame where she runs off seeing this because this is a horrifying scene from her neighbors. Eventually, they all push and pull together, and the baby is finally born. Hooray! And Bandit's really tired because Bingo's been shoving into him the entire time. There's this adorable scene where dad and baby see each other, and it's really sweet. And Lucky's still here for some reason. It's a weird episode. I like it, but I get it. I get why. I get why they didn't keep it. I don't like it more than Hammer Barn. And I don't like it more than Fancy Restaurant. I like it less than Rug Island, but more than Tickle Crabs. And I like Tickle Crabs less than I like Daddy Drop. Nope, I take it back. I just remembered the jumper from Daddy Drop Off. Never mind. Yeah, Dad Baby right above Tickle Crabs. Next, Piggyback. So family is on a vacation, and they are taking a walk down to the riverside, and Bingo goes through an annoying stretch of episodes. I gotta be honest. Bingo gets right outside the door, and immediately she's like, I'm really tired. Can I have a piggyback? And Bluey's like, Bingo, I'll race you. And Bingo's like, okay. And then they go race off real fast. And Bluey and Bingo are like, oh, there's no ice cream. And Bandit's like, yeah, I wouldn't have bought you one anyways. Let's go. And Bingo's like, can I have a piggyback? And Bandit's like, nah, mate, we're taking a walk. We're getting some exercise. And Bingo is continually whining the entire time. Eventually, oh God, I forget. Oh, what game are they playing? Yeah, they're starting a race, I think. Yeah. The first thing was Bluey was telling Bingo that the ice cream was there. Let's run and get that. And this is an actual race between Bingo and Bluey. And Bluey got a head start and still won because she's real fast. Eventually, after the second race, Bingo's like, I'm really tired now. Can I have a piggyback? And Bandit's like, no. Because, and then Bluey's like, look, little hedgehogs over here. And Bingo ran over to check out the hedgehogs. And Bingo's like, oh, wait, lady, stop. Don't run over the hedgehog. And she very nicely did not run over the hedgehogs with the tires. Bingo eventually is, I'm tired. And Chili's like, go run and give that pacifier back to the mom. And Bingo's like, okay, and runs off again. You like it that Bandit and Chili hold hands? It is kind of nice, yes. Long and short of it, I remember this. This was Bingo is running and being happy, and Bandit's like, well, looks like you're not tired anymore, Bingo. And Bingo's like, yes, I am. I want a piggyback. I don't remember what they're doing here. Oh, she wants to go chase a trash bird. They call them trash birds over there, I guess. Then they hide and to go scare mom and dad. And I think at about this point, they do a chariot. It's the same thing over and over again. Here, I'm gonna let you in on the secret of the episode. They're like, hey, Bingo, have you ever noticed that every time you're having fun, you're not tired anymore? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that? I forgot she did this. Eventually, she's like, I'm so tired. And Chili's like, oh, get up. Get up, you dingbat. And this was when she was like, have you ever noticed that you always get tired, or you always get a lot of energy when you're tired? Also, this is the Stump Fest that I was talking about earlier. This is a really good intro. Song about birds. Oh, trash birds.
The woodpecker bird likes pecking.
We'll watch that later. We've got a lot of episodes to get through, and Chili's like, okay, listen, you need to have some fun. Let's play the gingerbread man game. So the entire rest of the episode, Bingo is yelling, I'm fast as fast and be. I'm the gingerbread man. You can't catch me. And then they finally get to the river end, and Bandit's like, you did it, but you did it, kid. You finally got to the river's end. Now you can have a piggyback. And Bingo's like, no, you're just trying to trick me. No, I'm the gingerbread man. You can't catch me. And that's really cute that that Bluey is panting back there. They don't usually pant like dogs in the show. That's kind of cute. And then Bingo runs back home, and it's awfully adorable. Yeah, Piggyback Ride, I like Piggyback Ride. I don't love Piggyback Ride. I like it more than Fancy Restaurant. I like it more than Hammer Barn and Bingo, but I don't like it more than Escape. I'm going to drop Queens down several pegs. Just 2. Next, Double Babysitter.
Wood. The bluebird's a bird that sings pretty good. Sparrows are a bird that are pretty cool, eh? But the ibis is a bird that drinks bin juice all day. A crow is a bird with a heaps mad squawk. A cockatoo's a bird with a sick mohawk. Chicken is a bird that tastes good and lays eggs. And ibises are bin juice drinking dregs. A goose is a bird that's chilled like a duck. An ibis is a bird that's a picnic wrecking fuck. Doves are birds.
Okay. That's fine. Double Babysitter. So this episode, we get introduced to Uncle Radley, the third of the bandit siblings, who sneaks into the house and hides. And Bingo's like, "Yay, Uncle Rad is here! Where is he?" And then he's like, "Here I am." He introduces them to the kids. This is actually the first scene where I learned that Bluey was actually a girl. I thought that Bluey was a boy, like most people do. Not that it matters, obviously, but it's a very jarring scene, because when you have it in your head, like, oh, this blue dog character with an androgynous name, he is the eldest brother. The brother, yes. So Uncle Radley's here to watch the kids, and the kids are like, we don't know you very well. And Uncle Radley's like, that's all right. It's gonna be fine. But then Aunt Trixie shows up, and Aunt Trixie is their godmother, and Chili's best friend. And then Bluey's like, hey, Aunt Trixie, meet Uncle Radley. And then these two hit it off like immediately, and she's like, hi. And Chili's like, yeah, sorry, we forgot to call you and say Uncle Rad would watch the kids. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just go then, that's fine. And Uncle Rad's like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to come. And Bingo's like, no, you should both stay and watch us. And for some reason, they are cool with this. They're like, okay, probably because Aunt Trixie saw Uncle Rad and was like, you know what, my evening's free. And Uncle Rad's like, yeah, whatever. I also think she's pretty. So the kids are like, yeah, we don't really know you that well, so we are a little nervous about tonight. And Uncle Rad's like, don't worry, it's going to be exactly the same as if your mom was here. And Aunt Trixie's like, what if we did like 20 questions or something to get to know Uncle Rad a little better? And me, too. You can learn to know more about me. And Bingo's like, yeah. So they ask questions, things like, why don't we know you very well, Uncle Rad? And it's because I live on an oil rig. And it's like, are you married? It's like, no. And it eventually rolls around to, he's not married. He lives on an oil rig, which is why they don't see him very often. And Aunt Trixie just got out of a relationship with dog who cares his name, Buford or something like that. And it's implied that he is kind of an asshole. And the kids are like, I thought he was the love of your life. And she's like, yeah, he was. And then something happened and now he's not. And Uncle Rad's like, you know what? Let's change the subject. Let's go outside and we'll play fireflies. Oh, they pretend to be cats. Cats are canon in the dog universe. I heard that thunder. They play some more cat. Okay. I don't think this scene was supposed to be in there. The kids get ready for bed. Oh, the kids are like, well, I don't want you to do anything different than if my mom did it. And Uncle Rad's like, well, what if we did this on the ceiling? And she's like, whoa, I guess we could do that. It's different. That's cool. And basically this is a roundabout way of teaching kids that sometimes it's okay to have different babysitters. I heard that lightning, like that was actually static through my headphones. That was exciting. I have a power pack. It should be fine. But if the stream goes down, that's why. So this is they're telling stories to each other. Nothing of consequence happens. Bluey's like, oh, I forgot. Bluey doesn't want them to watch TV because the last time they had a babysitter was Nana. She fell asleep and the TV was way too loud and it scared Bluey. And Aunt Trixie's like, oh, okay, we won't watch TV, I guess. And Uncle Rad's like, yeah, all right, no worries. We won't watch TV. We'll sit on the back porch and we'll talk about. I think they talked about hair products, and he's like, no, it's just, almond milk. Have you ever tried it? She's like, no, it's beautiful though. And then I think these two were made for each other. Double babysitter is nice. It introduces that relationship, which definitely won't go anywhere in the future. Double babysitter, I like it more than Queens, but not more than Piggyback. Yeah, I think right there is fine with that. Christmas Swim. My friend Sean changed his name. He was never seen again. So this is Christmas. Like Christmas time in Australia is in the summer. That's why there's no snow. And also, I don't think it snows in Australia anyways, does it? Like anywhere? Everybody gets their Christmas presents. I think this is the first introduction of Socks's new model. She's no longer a baby. She's basically a smaller muffin, which is a little sad, but she has to grow up sometime. They all get toys. They all get Christmas presents. It does snow. It just doesn't in June. It just does it in June. Really? That's exciting. Australia seems fun. The kids all get toys. Socks is like pizza. Bandit gets tennis balls because dogs. It's very adorable. Bluey gets Bartholomew the doll, I think is his name. And he's like implied to be a really cool doll that she's wanted for a while. And honestly, this episode doesn't really have a lot of plot going for it. Bluey is introducing Bartholomew to everybody in the family. Socks pushes her dad into the pool. Socks licks Bartholomew. She's like, hey, Bartholomew, this is Socks. She's my cousin. And Socks is like, Merry Christmas. Bye. And she's like, don't worry. She does that to everybody. And Muffin's over here pretending she's got to get to work real fast and the train's leaving, so she's got to jump onto the raft real fast. Really not really a lot happens. Uncle Stripe plays a little rough with Bartholomew. Look at Bluey's face. I don't think it's Bartholomew, but it's definitely something like that. Bluey's like, maybe we should go play inside. It's a little rough out here. Bandit's playing with the tennis ball because, like I said, dogs. They all play with tennis balls because dogs. The doll plays with tennis ball because they threw it at the tennis ball. Eventually, Bluey's like, I think we need to go inside. let's get him all dried. And I think my new doll might have some issues with the family. And Chili's like, you know what? That's cool. But remember Uncle Rad from the last episode? He's on the Zoom. He's on a Zoom call, baby. And Uncle Rad and Trixie have clearly hit it off, and they are God only knows where. Some resort, it looks like, with fancy drinks. Like, they just met. Like, this is the very next episode. Let's see what happens. Eventually, Aunt Trixie wants to talk to Bluey all by herself, and she's like, you know what, Bartholomew? You're part of the Healer family now, and they're all a little wacky, but I like them too, and I'm brand new to the family too, and I'm boinking Uncle Rad, and you know what? Uncle Rad's pretty cool, and the Healer family is too. And then everybody has a happy, Merry Christmas. And there really is no overall plot to the whole thing. It's really just a nice Christmas episode. They're in Guam. They might be. Yeah, that nothing really happens in the episode. I like it, but nothing happens. I don't know if I even like it more than Sticky Gecko. It does have socks, though. I like it more than Sticky Gecko. I don't think I like it more than Daddy Drop Off. No. Yeah, I think the fact that there's no actual plot to it gives even Veranda Santa had a plot. No, I think C for Christmas Christmas Swim is just fine. Seesaw is fun. So Seesaw starts with Pomeranians. Bingo, Bluey, and Pom Pom are washing, left out to dry. But the washing gets blown away by the wind, and then Pom Pom's like, Mrs. Healer, I can't get off of it's so tall up. Pomeranians are a small breed. And she gets way too close when she says these things. Like, way too close. And she's like, you know what? Let's go play with the laundry again. She's like, I can't get up, Mrs. Healer. Maybe I just shouldn't play the laundry game. And then she goes and runs off to her mom, who's talking to Bandit, which I know the whole show has a lot of male-female relationships that seem like they shouldn't be, seem out of place. For perspective, imagine if Christmas was in 10 days. That's true. Would be very green. Be very Green-esque. Like, they probably don't get white Christmases just like we don't. I've never seen a white... I have seen a white Christmas, kind of. Anyways, Pom Pom runs off, and Bluey's like, oh, well, that is just what it is. They are small. And Bingo's like, let's play on the seesaw, Bluey. And they seesaw for a few minutes, and Bandit's like, you know what? I've got an idea. He goes over to the seesaw, pushes Bingo off of it, and sits down, and is like, this is my seesaw. And Bluey's like, hey, get off of it. Hey, fat ass, get off the seesaw. Get off the fucking seesaw. Oh, God, he's heavy. I've got an idea. Let's seesaw him off. Ha! And they're like, I don't think we're heavy enough. And Bandit's like, yeah, I'm pretty huge. And then Chloe comes over kicking a pine cone. And Bluey's like, hey, Chloe, can you get up here? We're trying to seesaw my fat-ass dad off of the seesaw. And Chloe's like, oh, okay. Heck yeah. And Bluey's like, you're going to get it, you big old blue bastard. And Bandit's like, ooh, I'm so scared. The big children are going to get me off of my seesaw. And predictably, they are still not big enough to knock him off of the seesaw. And Bluey's like, you know what? We're just going to call Mom. We're going to call Mom over here, and she's going to sort you out. And Chili's like, oh, hi, kids. How are you? And Bluey's like, Dad, Mom, Dad won't get off of the seesaw. And Chili's like, well, boo-hoo. Here you go, baby. Here's some sausages for you. And the kids are like, don't feed him. You're making him fatter. And Bluey's like, Ben is like, I couldn't eat more, but I'm gonna. And And Chloe's like, well, the adults won't help us. And Bluey's like, well, then we are going to find more kids to get this big guy off of our seesaw. They go over and grab Coco. She's like, Coco, is your big foofy hair heavy? And she's like, I guess, maybe. And Bluey's like, good enough for me. Let's go. Get on the seesaw. Is this heavy enough? And it's very slightly lifting him off the seesaw. And Bandit's like, nope. And Bluey's like, well, we're getting close. I think we need we need another dog. We need another dog. And Bluey's like, hey, Snickers. I need to say his name very carefully. Hey, Snickers, the dog. You need to come over here and help us. And for the remainder of the episode, I'm going to call this guy Sausage Dog. And Sausage Dog's like, well, I'm kind of busy with this thing right now. And Bluey's like, no time. Come on, let's go. So she grabs Sausage Dog and she's like, you're going to get it now, big man. We've got a sausage dog. And meanwhile, Bandit's like, I love my new rock. And Coco's like, he just picked up a huge rock. Now he's even heavier. And Bluey's like, well, that's not going to help. We've got a sausage dog now. And then he picks up another rock. And he's like, well, man, we've run out of kids. How are we going to knock this big fat bastard off of our seesaw? There's no more kids left. And Bluey's like, oh, no, there's not. We've got another kid. And they're like, Pom Pom, get over here. We need your help. And Pom Pom's like, okay. And they're like, get up here, Pom Pom. We need your weight to knock this guy off the seesaw. And Pom Pom's like, you got it. Oh, it's real tall. Yeah. And she slowly gets up the seesaw, and Bandit's like, whoa, oh, you're actually getting heavier. So he knocks the seesaw down. He's like, I'm gonna get you, Pomeranian. He's like, ah. And eventually Pom Pom's like, nope, Pom. And then she says this, is it Pom? I think it's Poms.
Pomeranians are small but hardy breed.
And then the Pom Pom runs up to the kids, and then finally they have enough weight to get Bandit knocked up into the air. And Bandit's like, I don't like being up here. I demand you let me down. And then they do the whole stupid trope thing where it's like, oh, we'll let you down. And then they all get off at once, and Bandit's knocked flat on his ass. And then later they play a spider game, and Pom Pom's like, oh, can I be the spider, Bingo? And Bingo's like, sure. And then Judo, for no reason at all, runs over to be an asshole. And she's like, you're too small to be the spider. And Bluey's like, no, she's not. Pomeranians are a small but hardy breed. And then they have the ending. Why did you have to describe it as him getting knocked up after Dad Baby? He got knocked up and off. Up and off. I like Seesaw. Pomeranians a small but hardy breed. I like Seesaw more than Dance Mode, more than Army, more than the show, more than Flat Pack, more than Stump Fest, more than Squash. Do I like it enough for S tier? Maybe. Yeah, I think I might put it at the bottom of S. It's a fun episode. It's a fun episode when you're able to involve the other kids as well. Like, they got Chloe in there. They got Sausage Dog. Movies is a dilemma. So movies is Bandit, Bingo, and Bluey are at Chucky Chimp, the movie. That's not Chili. Chili's not here. Chili's probably at work. Bluey has a problem. Mackenzie has seen Chucky Chimp, and she has unresolved weird feelings for Mackenzie, so she has to be brave and see Chucky Chimp too. But unfortunately, Chucky Chimp has a scary moment with a thunderstorm, and she's scared of thunderstorms. Meanwhile, Bingo, remember when I said Bingo was in rare form these few episodes? Again, Bingo is going nuts for like a good 5-10 episode spree. So Bingo's just straight up hopped up on caffeine. Bandit's like, all right, I need like a small popcorn and 3 tickets. And the guy's like, all right, $50. Bandit's like, whoa, $50? Do I need to pay for the 4-year-old? She's not going to watch it. And he's like, yeah, you got to pay for the 4-year-old, mate. And they get into the theater. What happened? There's a B movie knockoff, and they finally get to the Chucky Chimp, who they reference a lot of times in the show. As soon as the movie starts, Bingo's like, I'm bored. And Bandit's like, movie just started. Just watch the movie. And she's 4, so she's like really not paying attention at all. The movie ends up being a musical, and Bandit's like, oh, damn it, there's songs.
Damn it, bees again.
Bees again?
All the time with the bees.
This is an image of Bingo getting trapped in her seat and knocking the popcorn over. So Bandit's out here ordering more popcorn. Bluey's like, Dad, why in the movie is Chucky Chimp? Why are they telling him that he's not acting like everybody else and he shouldn't want to leave the trees and go join the plains lands? And Bandit's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Just watch the movie, Bluey. Bluey's like, but everybody thinks he's different. And Bandit's like, look, by the end of the movie, the kids are going to like that he's different. Dollars to donuts. And then Bingo slaps him with a stanchion cord. They go back into the movie. More of it has passed by. Bingo's like, I want to go sit down there, but I want to go explore. And Bandit's like, you can't go down there. And she's like, well, I just did, so what's about it? So they're running through the theater trying to catch Bingo. Bluey's not doing much of anything. And finally, Bingo's like, I need to go pee. This whole episode is extremely anxiety-inducing. During that whole process, Bluey was watching the movie, and the cheetah was singing a song about being yourself. And Bluey's like, hey, Dad, why was the cheetah singing a song about being yourself? And Panda's like, dude, it's just monkeys singing songs, mate. It's not that complicated. So they get back into the movie. Eventually, the storm starts happening. Bingo is running through the theater at full tilt. Nobody... This whole episode has lost the thread. Very quick... Very good pause. It's lost the thread several times over. Eventually, Bluey's like, Dad, I want to go home. And Bandit's like, we can't go home. We got to find your sister. And Bluey's like, I can't open my eyes. I'm not brave. But then she hears the monkey saying the same damn thing. But the monkey hears the magic words of the magical the magical pine cone, who tells him, you need to be yourself, Chunky Chimp. And then Chunky Chimp is like, yay, I'm going to be myself. And then he goes, explores the flatlands, and then they catch Bingo, and then they're like, all right, we're leaving. This has been a disaster. And Bluey's like, oh, the storm's over. Can we stay and watch the rest of the movie? Bandit's like, you know what? Yeah. And Bingo's like, I don't want to stay and watch the movie, though. And Bandit's like, you know what? You just stay and be an asshole. And she just bangs around on her chair for the next hour of the movie, I guess. This episode has so many wacky morals. Don't bring a child that's not able to sit still to the movie theater. I don't know. Unless you're in a multi-sensory movie theater experience. I feel like there was a lot of lessons throughout movies that they did not really stick to. That said, I do like movies, but so much of it is so wildly frustrating that I can't really enjoy it. They spend so much time running around and not being respectful of the people around them that I can't really enjoy it all that much. I do like it more than Rug Island. I don't think I like it more than Fancy Restaurant. I'm going to drop Dad Baby down below Tickle Crabs. Granddad. Granddad is the first time we get introduced to Chili's father. Her mother is not in the picture anymore. It's presumed she is not in the picture at all. But that's neither here nor there. This episode is missing Bandit, so it's Chili and the kids. The kids are eating their lunch on the way to go visit Granddad, and Chili's like, Bluey, you need to eat your pumpkin seeds. And Bluey's like, I don't want to. And Chili's like, fucking who cares? Eat your pumpkin seeds? And Bluey's like, shouldn't it be my choice? And Chili's like, would you eat them if it was your choice? And Bluey's like, well, no. It's like, well, then no, it's not your choice. And Bingo, the little gremlin back here, is like, I'll eat anything. Give me your pumpkin seeds. And she's like, are we almost to Granddad's yet? Can we go canoeing when we get to Granddad's? And Chili says, no, Granddad just got heartworms. He just had heartworm surgery, baby. He needs to be resting. He can't be doing any of that sort of stuff. And then they pull up to the property, and Granddad is out having his own stump fest. And Chili's like, Granddad, what the hell are you doing? Get in there and rest. And Granddad's like, you gotta catch me first. Come on, kids. And then they run off into the woods, and Chili's like, you need to be resting. And they're hiding in the woods because Granddad won't be resting at home after his heartworm surgery. And Chili's like, you guys can hide all you want. I'm gonna find you. Nobody knows this scrubland better than me. And Dad's like, oh yeah, that's true. She grew up here. She's gonna find us. And Bluey's like, I've got an idea. Hey. And Granddad's like, I didn't hear a word of that. Bluey's like, no, I'm just gonna throw a rock. So then they go off in the other direction. This episode has a lot of running around too as well, but I think it's done a little better than in other episodes. Granddad's like, I've got a trick for you guys. Get some mud and rub it on your face. Just rub it right into your eyeballs. Yeah, that'll keep us, Mom won't be able to see us now. And Bingo's like, are we going to go canoeing, Granddad? Are we going to go canoeing at all? And Granddad's like, yeah, I reckon. In a little bit. But your mom's after us, so we gotta go. So they go off into the woods, and he's like, here's my emergency rations. You always need some food out here in the wild if you're hiding out in the wild. So they eat their food, and he's like, here, I got some pumpkin seeds. And Bluey's like, I don't like pumpkin seeds. And he's like, you should like pumpkin seeds. They're good for you. And she's like, that's what my mom says. He's like, your mom's right. You should listen to her. He's like, yeah, and she said that you should rest. He's like, oh. Well, shit. And then Chili's like, I gotcha. They run off. Where do they go? They go to Buford's house. Buford's over here fishing. Chili eventually... Bingo's like, hey, Mr. Buford, do you know where Grandpa's canoe is? Bingo is on a one-track mind today. Chili catches up to Buford and is like, hey, where's Dad? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe you should check somewhere else. And he's like, he's always doing this shit. He needs to go back home and rest. He's not young anymore. And Buford's like, he's an ornery fool, and if he was around here, he'd want to hear that. And if it were, he would say it would be up to him to rest. And Chili's like, well, I still need him. So he needs to take him. He needs to be careful. And Buford's like, "You old fool! You need to be careful. If he could hear me." And she's like, "Oh, you got yourself a catch there, Buford. I think you got yourself a catch on your line. You better get that." And the fishing pole gets cast off into the water. And Granddad's like, "You had one job, Buford. One job." And Bingo's like, oh my God, there it is. Let's go, Granddad. And they hop into the canoe. Thank Christ. And Bingo's finally able to canoe. Chili's like, undaunted, jumps into the water and chases after them. And Bluey's like, what are we going to do? We're going to paddle. That's what we're going to do. And they eventually paddle off, leaving Mom in the dust. She's like, I will find you. They get to some secret spot, and Granddad's like, we're here. Let's rest here for a minute. And Bluey's like, do you think Mom will find us here? He's like, yeah, she'll probably be here in about 2 minutes. This was her favorite spot when she was just a little one. I think I'm going to rest. You guys want to swim? And the kids are like, yeah, let's go swim. And Chili's like, aw, Granddad, I found you. Like, I reckoned you would. It feels like yesterday, doesn't it? It feels like forever ago, doesn't it? And then he's like, no, feels like yesterday. And it's not really a good cut there, but you can see him being like back when she was just a little girl. And it's one of those aw moments. Granddad's really good. I like any episode with Chili's dad. He's a good guy. I like that more. I think it might even be an A. I like it more than Dance Mode. Do I like it more than Army? I think I personally do. And I like it more than the show, but not more than Flat Pack. Man, that storm is really holding on, isn't it? Did that cut out the internet? I think it did. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. How the hell are you playing? Okay. I think we might be back. I think we might be back there. We had an internet kerfuffle there with the lightning, but I think we might be back. You push the button there. Where is my button? All my buttons disappeared. There it is. Okay. There's the button. Okay, so you're streaming. Do I have any coffee left? I might drink a big swig of it. You didn't let me finish listening to mixed messages. We had a lightning storm. I guess the storm's still going. Where the hell was I? I think I was ranking... Mixed Messages is a good song. I think I was ranking Granddad, which I think, yeah, right under Flat Pack, I think is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's not better than Stump Fest, not better than Squash, no. All right, next is Library. Library is a Muffin episode. Muffin is here in the car. She's talking to her dad, and they're having a conversation about being special. And Muffin's like, "Dad, am I special?" And Uncle Stripe says, "Muffy." Library. But she says, "Muffy, you are the most special girl in the whole world." And Muffin's like, "Bet? Is that for real?" And they get to the house, and Chili's like, "Oh, wipe your feet, baby." And Muffin's like, "I don't need to, Aunt Chili. I'm special." And she's like, "Okay." So the kids are playing library. So Bluey is showing her the ins and outs of the library and what you need to do. Don't talk really loud. Here's the books you can check out. Here's how you do all your book shit. And Muffin who sees herself as special and doesn't have to follow rules, is loud as balls and a half. She's out here making all the noise on all of her toys, and Bluey's like, dude, Muffin, you can't do that in the library. And she's like, the hell I can't, I'm awesome, I'm Muffin, woo! It's like, look, here's your library card, go rent out a book, go get a book. She's like, I want this book, and she rips out the book that Bingo is holding. And well, I think they're like Muffin, you need to let Muffin play how she wants. She's just a little girl, guys. She's way younger than you. And the girls are like, oh, all right. It's not really how libraries played, though. And basically, Muffin takes advantage of the whole thing by taking every book from the library and being extremely loud with them. Oh, the only book that Bluey's able to find is a law book from her dad's office. And she's like, here's some words and some other words. And Muffin's over there playing one of those really loud books. Like the honk, 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 honk. Just being annoying as all hell. And eventually Muffin says, I'm going to keep all the books and I don't have to return them because I'm special. And she's like, look, I'll let you be really loud and I let you, check out all the books you want, but you have to turn in the books. That's just how the library works. You have to return the books at some point. And Muffin's like, nope. Eventually the girls go into the kitchen and sulk and they're like, aren't you having fun with Muffin? She's like, she's not playing library right. She said that she's special and that she's the most special girl in the whole world. And Stripe's like, oh shit, okay, that's on me. Hold on 1 second, let me go talk to Muffin. And he's like, hey Muffy, remember how I said you were the most special girl in the whole world? Muffin's like, heck yeah, I remember that. He's like, yeah, you're not. And she's like, oh. And he's like, well, you're the most special girl in the world to me and to your mom, but you're not all that special to a lot of people. And Muffin's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I got it. Thanks, Dad. And Muffin's like, hey, Bluey, Bingo, I'm not special anymore. Hooray! Is basically how the rest of that went. And she's like, can we play library again where I'm not special? And Bluey's like, heck yeah, let's play library where you're not special. So they go out there, and Muffin's like, you know what? Shh, you gotta be quiet in the library. And that's what I really like about this episode, is that Muffin, she isn't a monster deliberately, she just doesn't understand. In her head, she doesn't have to follow the rules, because she's special. It's kind of adorable. It's sweet. It's a little frustrating, because Muffin is screaming throughout the entirety of it. But I like it less than Tickle Crabs. Less than Dad Baby. More than Dad Baby. I think right there. Actually, I think I like it better than Tickle Crabs, but only by a little bit. Swim school. She doesn't know the rules either. Yeah, she doesn't. All she knows is that she is special and does not have to follow the rules. Swim school is very boring. So I'm just going to give you the cliff notes of swim school. They go into swim school, and there's the little fish and the big fish class. And the little fish class, taught by Margaret, everyone's supposed to swim nicely and not tell on each other unless there's a safety issue. And the big kids class, which is taught by like Karen or Kelly or something, she teaches a different class where everybody has to tell on everybody else, or you don't get to win the class. You don't get to graduate. So the whole rest of the episode is the family scheming against each other, and telling on each other. And there's some telling there. You don't like when Bluey is rude and unfair. Yeah, it's not a very good episode. It's pitting everyone against each other, and eventually, look, if Dad's not going to pass the class, I'm not going to pass the class, and then the whole family gets back together, and the episode's over. This episode sucks. I buddy don't like butt Bluey, butt Bluey, butt. Buttspot's having a night. Swim school might just be a straight up F. I don't like swim school at all. I'd rather watch Favorite Thing over swim school. Like, it's the entire episode is them just in the pool being jerks to each other. I don't like it. I don't like it. Right now, at the bottom tier. Straight up at the bottom of F. Bin Nights. So Bin Night's an interesting one. And I'm going to start going through some cliff notes on some of the less important of these episodes. So this entire episode is told over the course of several weeks while the kids are bringing the bins out to the yard, like to bring the bins out to be picked up. The entirety of the story is Bingo has met a new friend at school. I don't remember what his name is, like Bilbo, like Bilby or something like that. And every time they ask Bingo about an update about this new kid, she's like, you know what? He's kind of a jerk. He called me a dodo head or something along those lines. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry you did that. And the very next week goes to the next part of the story, and they're like, how was your day with the new jerk kid? And she's like, he called me a dodo head, but he called everybody a dodo head, so that's just how things go. And they're like, well, he shouldn't call anybody a dodo head, so that if he does that again, you need to go tell Mrs. Retriever and tell the teacher. And the following bin nights, they ask for an update because this is goddamn News Central on what's happening at Bingo's daycare. And she's like, well, new kid called me a dodo head, so I went and told Mrs. Retriever, and she was like, well, are you a dodo head? And she's like, well, no, I guess not. And I guess there you go. There's your details. And she's apparently being a jerk to everybody, and she eventually stands up to this new kid, and she's like, don't call anybody a bobo head. There is some cool progression. If you notice Bluey's belt, she like started off with like a white belt because she's doing martial arts that never comes up in the show ever again. But you can see that she does get a yellow belt during one of the weeks, which is really cool. And eventually Bingo's like, you know what? I'll stand up for you, new guy, and we'll be friends, and it's dumb. There's not really a whole lot that goes on to it. There is a really cute part at the end where he's asking the kids, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she's like, you know, maybe someday I'll be an inventor, and I can invent some robot that will take the trash out to the curb for you. And Bandit's like, I hope not. Because it's sweet, because he's like, you know what, he wants to keep taking the trash out with his girls, and I think that's an aw kind of moment. Not really a whole lot going on in Midnight. I like it more than Feather Wand, but I don't like it more than Sticky Gecko or Christmas Swim. No, I think I like it right there at the top of D. I think is just fine. What do we got next? Ice Cream. So Ice Cream has Bandit and his brother Stripe and the three girls. We very rarely see Socks. Like, we're not going to see Socks for a while again, but we see Muffin fairly often. They're out here at basically the Science Center. And after they leave the Science Center, they get to an ice cream stand, and the girls are like, we want some ice cream. And Bandit's like, I want to go home. Let's go. And Muffin's like, I want some ice cream. And Stripe is like, yeah, I got you some ice cream. And Bandit's like, thanks, asshole. Now I got to get my kids ice cream because now they won't shut up. Oh, they're like, maybe Muffin will give you a bite of her ice cream. And Stripe's like, yeah, that's not going to happen, mate. And they're like, Muffy, you want to give me a bite of your ice cream? And Muffin's like, the fuck, get back. And Stripe's like, fine, I'll buy you an ice cream. They take forever to decide. Stripe's like, oh, there's our ferry. We got to go, Muffy. Let's go. And he's like, now, Muffy, you got to eat that ice cream before we get on the boat. And she shoves the entire thing into her mouth. We don't have the frame, but she shoves the whole thing down her throat. And it is a little impressive, to be honest. The kids take forever to decide. I think they got a mango and a strawberry. And they're like, Dad, are you getting some ice cream? And Dad's like, nope, I'm trying to cut back. I'm trying to be healthy. And the lady's like, good on you. It'll be $6. This thing's taking a while to load. Sorry. And it took him like 10 seconds. Like, you know what? Just give me a double large chocolate. I've got a problem. This is yet another instance of them eating a horrible poison for themselves because dogs shouldn't eat chocolate. But here we are. It's just monkeys singing songs. They do a whole song and dance about eating ice cream, and they want to have a bite of each other's ice cream. And I'll just do a little bit of a cliff notes on what's happening here because it's really stupid. The girls are like, I'd like a bite of your ice cream, and they are both upset that they might take bigger bites of the ice cream than each other. And she's like, my mouth's out this far, and your mouth's out that far, and you're going to take a bigger bite than me, and maybe we'll take bites at the same time. And it's really stupid. So then they get into some sort of revolving match where they're walking around trying to eat each other's ice cream. And as they're doing that, Ben ibises. As they're doing that, the ice cream is very slowly melting as they walk. And then they finally realize, oh no, our ice cream melted. My ice cream melted. Our ice cream's melted. And they're like, Dad, all right, yeah, I heard. Your ice, yeah, I know. Well, why? Like, I told you, it's fucking hot. You took too long. I told you guys you needed to eat it before it melted. It's an important life lesson. And they're like, oh. And Bandit's like, God damn it. Fine, eat my poison ice cream. And finally Bluey's like, you know what? You have the first bite and take as big of a bite as you want, which is what they should have done in the first place. Bandit doesn't have to eat a giant chocolate ice cream, and he can feel healthy, and the kids finally get their ice cream. Ice cream... Where do I put ice cream? Ice cream might be above Bin Night. I don't know if I like it more than Sticky Gecko. Ice cream is frustrating. Ice cream spends the entire episode them whining about who is getting more ice cream than the other. And it's silly. Oh, God. Oh, I hate Bad Mood. I was wondering, are we going to get some more Fs? And I'm like, yep, we are. Let's get this over with. Bad Mood is shit. I just rewatched Bad Mood and I hate it. I need a drink. The Bad Mood starts out with Bingo sneaking a cookie in the other room, and Chili's like, hey, Bingo, I didn't say you can have a cookie. Go put that shit back. You're being a bit of a cheeky girl today. And Bingo's like, I'm not cheeky. And Chili's like, I know you're not. You're a good girl. I said you're acting cheeky. There's a difference. And because she's a whiny baby, she's like, no, there's no difference. You called me cheeky. And Chili's like, you're way too sensitive, kid. And Bingo's like, I'm in a bad mood. Nothing will help me. And she finds the Viking helmet and goes to her dad. He's like, hey, Squirt, what's... Oh, not bad mood. And this episode of Bluey is called Bad Mood. So, we're just going to go through a very small slideshow of what happens for the next 5 minutes. Bluey and Chili try to get Bandit and Bingo to stop terrorizing the house. Basically, Bandit is making Bingo do all sorts of stupid stuff, like get chocolate out of the fridge, like watch TV, like knock over blocks. And every time they're like, Bingo, you're not allowed to do that. And she's like, it's not me, it's my bad mood. Ha ha ha. What terrible channel is this? Let's get rid of that. And Bingo's like, I know how to cheer you up, Bluey. Bingo, here's your relaxing chair. You're going to do some meditations, breathing in and out. It doesn't go well. Bluey tries to get Bingo to do some drawing to cheer her up. And then eventually she tries to get her to do some dancing. And then the dancing is really loud and annoying. And eventually the bad mood lets her go. And then Bingo's like, hi, bad mood. I want to be in the bad mood again. And then Bluey's like, but I got you out of the bad mood. But then she got right back into it. And Chili's like, I've seen this before. This is a very interesting Roar TV channel. And Chili's like, I've seen this before. She wants to be in a bad mood. I know how we can get her out of this. We're going to wear out the bad mood. And then the bad mood got down the ground exhausted. And then Bingo's like, but I want to be in a bad mood. And Chili's like, I've got a better idea. How about you be in a good mood? Instead of wrecking things, we cuddle. 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 And Bingo's like, I think I want to cuddle my bad mood. And Bluey's like, no way. You don't want to cuddle him. He's bad. Bingo's like, he's not bad. He just acts bad sometimes, just like Chili said at the beginning of the episode. Bad Mood sucks. Bad Mood is such a bad episode. It's basically Bandit being a jerk the entire episode. And I know it's, I guess, to try and help cheer Bingo up maybe, but honestly, I'm getting pretty tired of cheering Bingo up. I feel like we never stop cheering Bingo up, and Bingo needs to chill out a little bit. I'm just saying. The Quiet Game. Quiet Game's good. Quiet Game is a game where the kids are playing a very loud game of like Big Butt the game. Hi, Micah. And Bandit's like, all right, kids, you're playing really loud. I've got a game for you. You guys want to play the Quiet Game? The Quiet Game's a really cool game where you don't say anything. And the kids are like, that game sounds cool. Okay. And then they stop talking. And Bandit's like, all right, this game rules. Let's play this game forever. And Chili's like, Bandit, I need you to watch the kids for a little while. I need to go into work. And then Bandit's like, yep, okay, I will be right here. She's like, the hell you are. You're going to the toy store and you're going to go pick up a toy for Muffin. I don't know what she wants. The kids want it. Don't pick up the wrong thing. Muffin will kill you. Muffin will kill you. I'm not kidding. Muffin will kill you. She'll kill all of us. Bye. This episode of Bluey is the Quiet Game. So Bandit's like, all right. You guys want some ice cream? If you want ice cream, say something out loud. Oh, well, I guess they don't want ice cream because they're still playing the Quiet Game, you see. Meanwhile, in the background, we have our new character, Alfie, I think his name is. And Alfie is starting his new job today at the toy store. And Alfie's mom's like, you're going to do a great job, Alfie. And Alfie's like, what if I fuck everything up? And his mom's like, you won't. Bye. And Alfie's like, okay, I'll try not to. Bandit gets into the store and he's like, all right, what did they want? What do they want? Oh, right. You're still playing the Quiet Game. All right, look, pausing the Quiet Game. Tell me what they want. And the girls are like, nope. Bandit's like, fine. All right. You win the Quiet Game. Tell me what Muffin wants. Does she want this thing? Nope. Does she want this thing? Oh, and then then the girls are like, let's do charades. So then they do some charades. What is it? Somehow they get to like sprinkler, and he's like, okay, the kids are pointing at a sprinkler. Hey mate, do you have any sprinkler toys? Do you have any toys that are sprinklers? My girls say that this 3-year-old that's gonna kill people wants a sprinkler. And Alfie's like, I I don't know, mate. This is my first day. I'm sorry. I'll check in the back and see if we've got some sprinkler toys. And he's like, good on you. And eventually, the girls pantomime that what she really wants is a moonlight sparkler toy, something like that. One of these things, which is straight up a My Little Pony reference. And Bandit's like, there's thousands of these fuckers. Which ones does she want? Girls, which one does she want? Okay, you win the game. You tell. Okay, you win. You win. Oh, damn it. Okay, look, really, there is no quiet game. Okay, I made up the quiet game. I made it up. Oh my God, Dad made it up. And then he's like, look, I'm sorry I made up the game and I was mean. Could we just please get this? So could you please start talking? I'm sorry. He's like, fine. You know what? I'm just going to pick this toy. I'm just going to pick this one, and this is the one we're going to get. And the girl and Bandit's like, you know what? It'll be fine if she gets one. It'll be fine. And the girls are like, hey. They don't actually say anything, but they're like. And they go over there and pantomime over here. And she's like, all right, so Muffin's on the left. Got it. Yep, you're Muffin. Understand. Here's you getting the toy. Getting the toy. Oh, doesn't like it very much. Oh, we lost a lot there, but she was causing a fit. And Bandit's like, okay, we need to get her the right one. All right, let's do some pantomimes then. If you're gonna play this stupid damn game, let's figure this out, Bandit. Bandit is not able to figure it out, and then Alfie finally shows up. He's like, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have any sprinkler toys. I don't think they make them. And Bandit's like, we're past that, mate. Listen, I need you to figure out what these children want. They won't talk to me, but I need you to figure out which damn doll they want. And Alfie's like, you know what? I can help you. And Bandit gets far too close and says, all right, thanks, kid. There they are. They pantomime it together. Somehow they figure out that she wants like a moonlight sparkler or something along those lines. And finally, Alfie figures it out, and everybody's like, Alfie did it! Alfie's a hero! Alfie did it! And Alfie gets, and the manager shows up and like, who did the fart cannon? Who made it? Nobody ordered chicken. Who did the fart cannon? And Bandit's over here like, Mr. Manager, is this your employee? And manager's like, that depends. And he's like, yeah, then he did a great job. He won the day. You should give this guy a raise. And Alfie's like, oh my God, this is the best day ever. And they get home and they do a bunch of singing, and Chili's like, I'm back from work. Are you guys being really loud? And Bandit's like, I love it when they're loud. It's like music to my ears. And it's the end of the episode. They are $50 a doll. Yes, they are very expensive. I like the Quiet Game. I like the Quiet Game a lot, actually. I'm going to move Squash up to S. I really like Squash. And I think I might move Quiet Game up to S as well. I like this better. Do I like Quiet Game more than I like Squash? And I think I like it more than I like more than I like Seesaw. There's an old but very futuristic Swedish fighter jet which has fart control. I like that the word fart means like what, slow, like speed in overseas. Movie is $50, doll is $50, everything's 50, more or less. Yeah, everything's $50. Kids understand $50. Where did I put this? The Quiet Game? I put you too high. I'm gonna put Squash above the Quiet Game and above Seesaw. I think I like that better. What's next? Postman and the Ground's Lava. So in this one, Bluey is chewing on some shit. And Bingo's like, hey, Bluey, do you want to play Ground is Lava? And Bluey's like, all right, yeah, that sounds like a laugh. Let me go just put my dishes away. And she goes into the kitchen, and Chili and Bandit are like, I think that we need to hang this thing up. And Bandit's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess with the stupid thing. And then she's like, it's a lot more, less, germy if it's up here. And Bluey's like, are you guys fighting? And the adults are like, no, we're not fighting. We're just talking. And Chili's like, look, we'll talk about this later. And Bandit's like, I can't wait. So they're just having a tiny little spat. And Bluey is like, all right, this episode of Bluey is called Postman. So she goes over and sets a post office box next to her mom and sets one next to her dad and gives her dad a bunch of paper. And she's like, you're supposed to write a letter. Write one to mom, maybe. She's the only other person who has a letterbox. And Bluey's like, just write her a damn letter. I'll deliver the letter. Just write something. And Bluey's like, fine, here we go. And then she opens the letter. He's like, you're opening my mail? And it's a love heart, and it's very adorable. Eventually, Bluey gets back to the living room, and Bingo's like, holy shit, Bluey, you're in the lava. Get out of the lava. And Bluey's like, what? Oh, sorry, I can't play Ground is Lava. I'm playing Postman right now. And Bingo's like, you never play with me, Bluey. You never play with me. And Bluey's like, you know what? We could do both. This episode of Bluey is called Postman and the Ground's Lava. So they go over different things, and they try and get throughout the living room by playing Ground is Lava. And Bingo's like, why are you bringing that stupid that bike with you? And Bluey's like, Postmen always need bikes. And she's like, no, they don't. What about that one on TV? And Bluey's like, yeah, they do. Wait, are we squabbling? Are we fighting? We should never squabble. You should always agree with me from now on. And Bingo's like, you know what? That might work. Let's try that. And they get to the stairs, and Bingo's like, well, the stairs are lava too, so you got to be careful. And Bluey's like, no, we can't do that. And Bingo's like, well, we're squabbling, and I think you should, agree with me. And Bluey's like, all right, fine, we won't squabble. We won't squabble at all. It's fart control. And Bingo puts down some stepping stones. This is more or less just how many ways can we climb over the furniture? Butts, not butt, that butt. I think Bud's bot needs some work. I need to work on him later. The girls get to the living room, and they're like, that way takes longer. We need to get to mom now. We need to get that love heart. And Bingo's like, well, you need to agree with me, remember? Because we're not going to fight anymore. And Bluey's like, well, maybe we should agree with each other. You go that way, and I'll go this way. And Bingo's like, that'll work. Let's do that. And that's what they do. They end up getting over the lava and into the kitchen. And eventually, they're like, wait, no, mom got away from our letterbox. How are we going to get the love heart? How are we going to get how are we going to get the letter to mom now? And Bingo's like, what's in this letter anyways? And Bluey's like, it's a love heart. If we don't get it to dad, if we don't get dad's love heart to mom, they're not going to love each other anymore, and they'll be enemies. And Bingo's like, then why did you play with me? And Bluey's like, because you always cry if I don't play with you. And Bingo's like, no, I don't. And they're like, oh shit, we're squabbling again. Let's never squabble. Let's just work. Let's always agree with both of ourselves. I think I know how we can get this letter to mom. We'll make a paper airplane. And that's what they do. They build a perfect paper airplane that works on the first try, and they send it off into the air. It does hit an air current and completely misses and goes towards Wendy's mom, or Judo's mom, and she's like, no, dad's gonna fall in love with the neighbor. And eventually it lands on Chili, and she gets the message from Bandit, and it's very sweet. Aww. Postman is fine. Do I like it more than Sticky Gecko? I don't think so. No, I think top of D. I think I like it more than I like ice cream. But I don't think I like it more than I like Sticky Gecko. Cafe. Cafe is a weird one. So Cafe, Bluey and Bandit are here at the playground, and these two dogs we've never met before show up. And this dog, whose name is Winnie, arrives, and she's like, Hi, you want to play? And Bluey's like, heck yeah, let's play Cafe. These are our monies. We need a customer. Dad, Go be our customers. So the dads cram themselves in to the seat, and they're like, hey, mate, I'm Fido. I'm Bandit. So the girls serve the dads some coffee, and it's very sweet. And these dads are very, very clearly uncomfortable with this because it's two adult men sitting and playing cafe with their daughters. It's one thing to play it with yourself. It's another thing to play with another group of people entirely. Meanwhile, the girls are like, all right, sorry, we got to go home. Bye. Bye, Winnie. Big hug. Mwah, big hug. Mwah. And the dads are like, nice to meet you, mate. And Bluey's like, we made a new friend, Mom. Her name's Winnie, and we love her, and she's fun. And Dad made a new friend too. His name's Fido. And Dad's like, I don't know about friend. We're not quite there. And Bluey's like, I want to go over and go to her house for breakfast, but Dad said no. And we just met her. We're not going to their house. Maybe later. And Bluey's like, well, maybe we'll talk about it later. And the episode sort of evolves into this weird, the kids are trying to play matchmaker for the dads. The dads end up playing the entire time, and I don't know, the vibes are all over the place on this. It's kind of adorable, not really realistic in how I think most adults become friends. Eventually, Bingo's like, I want to go to the cafe too. And then Bingo shows up because she's been sleeping in the whole time. And then Bingo's like, Dad, can you go play with me over on the swing set? And Dad doesn't get to play with Fido. And then the two dads are starting to feel like they don't get to play, and it's really sad. So basically, Bandit doesn't really want Bingo to go because she sort of monopolizes the time. And it's nice because Bingo actually sleeps in. So the next morning, Blue was like, you know what? Bingo's sleeping in. He didn't tell Bingo this, but you could tell. He wanted some time just to play with Bluey and Winnie and Winnie's dad. They get to the playground and they aren't there. They are not there at all. And they eventually try and pretend to play cafe. And they're like, I wish Winnie and Fido were here. And they're like, you know what? I think we should just go home. Let's go home and hang with the family. She's like, yeah, I guess they can't come to the park every day. And just as they're leaving, they show up and they're like, oh, sorry, mate. We couldn't get out of the house in time. And they're like, that's okay. We were just leaving. And Winnie's like, oh, that's okay. And Bandit's like, you know what? Why don't you come to our house and we'll have breakfast together? And Winnie's like, for real life? And then they go home and they're all friends. And it's really weird. It still feels weird to be talking about liking things more. Sticky Gecko is a good middle point right there. In fact, no, I like Sticky Gecko right there at the bottom of C. C for Geck. Cafe, I like Cafe. I don't love Cafe. I like Cafe more than Fancy Restaurant. And I like it more than Escape. I like it more than Dance Mode. I don't think I like it more than Army. Bad channel. Yeah, not a great channel. I don't think I like it more than I like Army. I think Cafe can be right there under Army. What's next? Oh my god, I love Barky Boats! Barky Boats. So the entire squad is here and with Calypso. And Calypso's like, all right, class, I've got a surprise for you today. And Mackenzie and Bluey are both like, what is it, at the same time? And this little asshole over here, easily my least favorite character in the show, is like, ooh, Bluey and Mackenzie are gonna get married because they did Jinx. And Bluey and Mackenzie are like, no, shut up, you little punt-nosed bitch. And Calypso's like, that aside, today your special friends are coming to visit. And it's like, yay! And the special friends are basically the older, like the junior high kids are coming to visit the preschoolers. Kind of like an outreach program, which is really adorable. So this is Mia. She is Bluey's friend. I forget what they're called. buddies. Yeah, so this is Bluey's buddy, and this over here is Captain. He is Mackenzie's buddy. So Bluey and Mia are going to go build a fairy garden off in the forest, and Mackenzie and Captain are going to play barky boats. Bluey's over here like, look what I can do. I know how to do like a cartwheel, and Mia's like, that's cool. Check out what I can do. It's kind of a show off. Meanwhile, Mackenzie and Captain are over here playing with the water. These are the barky boats, so you can mess with the water and make a lot of and make a lot of splashes and water currents and stuff. As they're playing, Mia and Bluey walk up, and probably the funniest line of the show is Captain completely stopping and ignoring Mackenzie immediately as Mia shows up, and he says, "Hi Mia, hi Mia, hi Mia." Like 3 or 4 times before Mia's like, "Oh, hi Captain, what's going on? We're just gonna go we're gonna go build a fairy garden," and Captain's like, "Oh, that's really cool, Mia," and Bluey and Mackenzie are like, bleh, because they're still mad at each other, and Mackenzie's like, hey, snap out of it, barky boats, let's do this. So I forget how Mackenzie. Oh, I remember. Captain says to Mackenzie, "Hey, barky boats is cool. Do you want to go build a fairy garden with Bluey?" And he's like, "No." And Captain's like, "Oh yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to. No." See the teacher in the background? Yeah, Mackenzie in the not Mackenzie. What's her name? Calypso in the back right is watching the events happen, which is really sweet. Meanwhile, over here in the fairy garden, they put together this really adorable little miniature area, and Bluey's like, "Hey, Mia, do you know how to write?" And Mia's like, "Oh yeah, I know how to write." And Bluey's like, "Okay, can you write a letter to the fairies for me?" She's like, "All right, oh." And Bluey's like, "Okay, let's write a letter to the fairies, like, dear fairies." And like, ah. And then Mackenzie and Captain show up, and Mia's like, "Ooh, Captain, what's going on? What are you doing here? What are you doing here, Captain Mackenzie?" And Mackenzie's like, "He made me come." And Captain was like, "Yeah, we were just looking for barky boats." And Bluey's like, "There ain't no barky boats here. Now get out." And Mackenzie's like, "I told you. Now let's go." And Mia's like, "Bye, Captain." All right. And Bluey's like, "Sorry about that. Anyways, whew. Okay, so fairies. Now, there'd be this guy, and Mia's like, "You know what? You think this would make a good barky boat for the boys?" And Bluey's like, "I guess. Let's go give this barky boat to the boys." And Bluey's like, "No, come on." and meanwhile, Mackenzie is back over here at the barky boats like, "All right, this time, no screwing up, Captain. We're going to make a really good barky boat." And Captain's like, "Fine, no screwing up. I'm sorry. I don't know what got over me." And Mia's like, "Hi." It's like, "Ah." And Bluey's like, "She made me come." Mia's like, "Look at this really cool barky boat we found for your barky boats." And Captain's like, "That's a cool barky boat. Let's go find some more. I think I found some more in that forest over there." And Mackenzie and Bluey are like, "What, buddy? Where'd our buddies go?" Which is just about what Calypso asked. Like, "Guys, where'd your buddies go?" Like, "They ran off. They didn't want to play with us anymore." And Calypso's like, "Oh, why not?" And they sort of told them what happened, and Calypso's like, "Oh, I get it. They're just being, some weirder things happen when you get a little older." And the kids are like, "What do you mean?" Mackenzie's like, Calypso's like, "Well, here, let me show you using the barky boats. Go ahead and build yourself a dam with the barky boats." And this barky boats would be like you guys when you're growing up, and this is you when you're 8 years old, And as the water builds up, this is you when you're 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 years old. And the kids are like, we can't hold it. The water's going to blow. And Calypso's like, and then the water explodes. And then they go down the river of life. And it's so wild and amazing. And the kids are like, are they going to make it? And Bluey's like, I don't know. And then they make it down to the end. And Calypso's like, they made it. Sometimes life is like that when you get older, and sometimes it's a little turbulent and there's some things you don't understand, but you'll make it in the end. And the kids are like, I don't really get it, but I like it when you talk, Calypso. And meanwhile, the buddies are over here like, you think there are any barky boats over here? And Captain's like, oh, are we still pretending to look for that? That's not what they were like. Meanwhile, they're like, I think these would be really cool for the little ones. While they're off looking for barky boats, Mackenzie and Bluey are like, let's play barky boats together, and that's really sweet. These two have completely lost the thread, and they're off cloud gazing, and Mia's like, are you worried about high school? Are you worried about high school, Captain? And Captain's like, yeah, a little, I guess. Are you? She's like, a little bit. But at least we'll be together in high school, right? We'll see each other there. And Captain's like, yeah. And then they hear the kids yelling, and they're like, oh shit, we forgot about our buddies. Sorry guys, we got a little distracted. We were looking for boats, and then we were looking at clouds, and I'm sorry. And Mackenzie and Bluey are like, we forgot you were gone. That's okay. Thanks for coming back. And they decided to play around for a little bit, and it was really sweet. Bluey and Mia, we're almost done. This episode is, I like this episode, so I could talk about it for a long time. Bluey and Mia go back to the fairy garden. They're like, all right, let's finish up this letter to the fairies. And Bluey's like, all right, let's talk to the fairies. Let's keep fairies. Can you keep Mia safe when she goes to high school, because she's a big girl, but she's going to be really good in high school, and just make sure she's really you take care of her when she's there. And then she hugs her at the end. Some of these episodes you talk about, I really like barky boats. I really do. But some of these are going to get less time than others. I don't like it more than Sleepy Time, but I do like it more than Charades. I've got a secret to you. If it's got Mackenzie in it, it's going to get more time. Muffin Cone. Yeah, I think right there, almost at the top of S, is going. We're going to try and blitz through some of these. We don't have much time. Although I guess we could finish this another night. There's no guarantee that we have to finish this all tonight. We could plug this at the end of another night where we need to finish something else. I kind of like that idea. How about we do 2 more? Because I am getting a little sleepy, and I don't want to just blast through it for no reason. You know what I mean? Jelly Bean? This is Muffin Cone. Undertale already bought a day. I already rearranged that time, unfortunately. Discord. Thank you. Discord. Thank you. I think I rearranged that time into Echo the Dolphin. No. The Undertale was self-diagnosis night. Anyways, this is Muffin Cone. Muffin is being brought over to hang out with the girls, and Muffin's like, "Yay! I get to hang out with the friends." But then she starts sucking her thumb. So then she starts just sucking her thumb the whole time, and Aunt Trixie's like, "Muffin, don't suck your thumb." And Muffin's like, "Why?" And she's like, "Because it's not good for you, honey." She's like, "Well, go piss yourself. I want to suck my thumb." It's like, "All right, well, you know what that means if you suck your thumb." And they get to the house, and she's like, "Whoa!" and they put the cone of shame onto Muffin. Muffin's like, "It's a cone, and now I can't suck my thumb." So the girls are a little upset because they want to play Sandwich Shop, and it's going to be hard to do that with the Muffin Cone. Also, considerably better graphics on this episode. I had to do this one out of the normal sequence. Eventually, they're like, "Look, if she promises not to suck her thumb, I'll take the cone off." and Chili's like, "Are you sure we're are you sure we can do this anymore, Trixie? It seems a little archaic. And Trixie's like, you know what? I don't know, but I'm doing it, so here we are. Eventually the girls are like, well, this is going to make this hard to play Sandwich Shop, but here we go. This whole sequence is Muffin trying to make a sandwich, but she can't see shit. So she's like, here are my 2 slices of bread. Here you go. Here is a sandwich made out of bread and lettuce. I can't see anything. I can't cut because I can't see anything. That's the whole joke. Meanwhile, Trixie and Chili are in here in the kitchen eating chips. And Trixie's like, nope, I'm not going to eat chips. I'm doing well. I'm doing well in my diet. Well, maybe one won't hurt. Meanwhile, Bluey and the girls come in and they're like, can you please take off Muffin's cone? She promises she won't suck her thumb, right? All right, fine. I'll take the cone off. Immediately goes back to sucking her thumb. So the cone stays on. They can't play Sandwich Shop, so Muffin goes off to sulk in the garden. You want whatever those chips are? We have some Doritos in the kitchen. Chili's conversation continues on, and Trixie's like, I don't want to do this, but she just won't keep sucking her thumb. It's just an addiction that she won't. Oh, you got to get these chips away from me. I'll just take them away, honey. I know you're trying to be good. Oh, no. You don't have to take them away. It's fine. I can control myself. Chili notices that Muffin's sitting in the backyard despondent, and she's like, oh, let me go talk to the girls for a second. The frame misses the eye roll of her eyes glancing over to the chips. The girls are in here playing Sandwich Shop, and Chili's like, hey, girls, why aren't you playing with Muffin? And she's like, well, she can't play Sandwich Shop, and that's what we want to play. And Chili's like, well, can you play something that she can play? And be a good cousin? And she's like, all right, I guess we'll try a different game. And she's like, that's the spirit. Bye. So they go out into the garden, and she's like, I'm sorry, I can't stop sucking my thumb. And Bluey's like, that's okay. We'll play a game where the cone's okay. And Bingo's like, maybe we can pull the cone down. And Bluey's like, oh yeah, they didn't say anything about that. Let's try to pull this shit down. And Muffin's like, oh, look at me. I look like a ballerina or a parking cone. Or a wedding gown dress, or a bride. So then they go. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Trixie has devoured all of the chips, and she's like, "I think I need to take the cone off because I'm not a good role model today. I should be nice." In the backyard, the kids are getting married. They're playing traffic cone. And they're going to the show. This is Kitty and I's favorite persona, is when Bingo pretends to be a guy, like a really old man. She's like, "Oh, no worries, babe. You got it, babe." She comes out here and is a ballerina, and then Trixie is over here like, "Hey, kid, you can take off your cone. It's okay." Oh. Look, they're playing with the cone. Aww. And it's sweet. They take the cone, they leave, and the next week, Uncle Stripe is like, we're almost to your cousins. And Muffin's like, yay. Hey, look at what I'm doing, Dad. And Stripe's like, hey. So they put her back in the cone of shame, and they're all happy. And Muffin Cone is a little adorable. Where do I like? Muffin Cone is very fun. I like it more than Hammer Barn. I like it more than Bingo. I like it more than the Escape. Trying to think of where everything else is going, and I'm thinking I just need to do a little bit of rearranging. Like hairdressers, I'm perfectly okay, and trains. Both of those can easily go down to F, no problem. Muffin cone, though, I think muffin cone is a good B. I don't think it's an A. Yeah, I think that I like that better. Let's do one more. Let's do circus. Muffin cock. Muffin is 3. Let's do circus. Let's finish up with circus, and we'll do the last 10 on another night, because I'm getting to the point where I just kind of want to blast through it, and I don't want to blast through it. That's not how I do these things. This is circus. It is election day, and the healers are here to cast their votes. So the parents go off and go to cast their vote, and the kids find some other kids, and they decide to go pretend to be a circus. That's basically it for this part. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the field, my very least favorite character and his brother are playing a even worse game. Keep hearing it as healers. I mean, technically, that's what they are. There's a line later in a burger shop, which we'll do on another night, where one of the kids is really cold, and a bandit's like, "Your lips are blue," and she's like, "I'm a blue healer." That's cute. Anyways, over here we've got Hercules, I think his name is, and Winton, and this game is Hercules jumping over his brother, who's pretending to be a ramp, and Winton's like, "Can we play something different?" And Hercules like, "No, you're a ramp. Get down there. Shut up." And Winton's like, "Okay, I'm a ramp." Meanwhile, the circus is continuing on over here with the other kids. Mackenzie is pretending to be a evil lion tamer. Honey, down there on the ground with the glasses, is pretending to be a lion. And Mackenzie's basically just being a jerk the whole time to the lion. Because that's just the role play that they want to do, I guess. The lion is running off to attack Mackenzie because Mackenzie is so mean. And then over on the other side of the field, Winton's like, "You know what? I want to go..." Hold on. This is going to be funny. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, I fucked it up. Hold on. I can do this. One more time. Good enough. Anyways, so he's like, "You know what? I want to go join the circus." So he's like, "You know what? Bluey, can I come join your circus?" And Bluey's like, "Yeah, sure. You can be in our circus, I guess. What can you do?" "I can do this thing." And he like grabs his waddles and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And Bluey's like, "Gross. Okay, you can do something. I forget what." Meanwhile, Winton's brother is over here like, "Hey, where's my ramp?" "Oh, ramp went over there with the circus. I need to get over there." Mackenzie is over here being mean to the lion some more, which causes the lion to go full out rage mode. While they're dealing with the lion attack, Winton's brother comes over here and is like, "Hey, be my ramp. You too, other dog. All 3 of you, you're going to be my ramps because you're little and I can tell you what to do." So they all get on the ground, and the big dog jumps over them. These 3 are still fighting. And Bingo is finally like, "You know what? I don't think this big fat guy can tell us what to do." And he's like, "Yeah, I can." And Bingo's like, "Actually, no, you can't. You can't tell me what to do." and Hercules is like, "Fine, then I'll just make this noise." Things like that. And then the kids are like, "Hercules, you suck ass." And Bluey's like, "Hey, what's happening over here?" And and Bingo's like, "This big meanie is telling us what to do." And Bluey's like, "Oh, he's not a meanie. In fact, he's just what we need. We need a strong man in our circus to come over here and help us take care of our lion problem. Come on, big guy. And Hercules comes over there and he's like, hey, you two, break it up. You know what? You're not a bad lion at all. You're a really good lion. It's you that sucks. And he spins Mackenzie around a bunch of times. Circus is growing on me as I'm talking about it. And Bingo's like, this is great. I love the strongman show. Poor Mackenzie is incredibly dizzy. And Bluey's like, let's play motor cars. And everyone's like, yay, motor cars. And Mackenzie is completely flailing around. And Coco's like, you know what, Mackenzie, you want to be a ramp with me? Let's be ramps on the ground. I wonder if Mackenzie Coco has a little crush on Mackenzie. I think it's sweet. The kids are like, did you vote for somebody, Mom and Dad? And they were like, yeah. I think there was more of a moral to that, but I don't remember what it was. I was going to put Circus right into F, but there were some parts of it that grew on me. I like it more than I like Bus. I like it more than Mom School. I like it more than Feather Wand. I like it more than Bin Night. I think I like Ice Cream more than I like Postman, and I like Circus more than I like Postman. I think I like that arrangement better. I think this... I don't mean to make it look like perfect arcs. That's just how I like the... That's how it works out. I think this works out really well. Bad Mood, Swim School, Favorite Thing, Hairdressers, and Trains. All really bad episodes. And so's Bus. I'm moving Bus down. Do I want to move Mom School down too? I don't like... Actually, Mom School is fine. Mom School can stay in D, but Bus and Trains are both... You know what? I like Trains better than I like Bus. And I like Hairdresser. No, I like Hairdresser less than Bus. Has Mackenzie. Any episode with Mackenzie is a really good episode. That said, Hercules dropped it down by a lot. Mum School at the bottom of D. Feather Wand. Bin Night, Postman, Circus, and Ice Cream. I'm okay with that. Sticky Gecko. Christmas Swim. Daddy Drop Off. Dad Baby. Dad Baby. You're taking a tumble. You're taking a tumble, Dad Baby. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Right above Sticky Gecko. Tickle Crabs, you're okay there. Library, you're getting dropped under Tickle Crabs. And Daddy Drop Off. And Christmas Swim. But not Dad Baby. You can stay right there. Movies and Rug Island, both perfectly fine right there at the top of C. Fancy Restaurant, Hammer Barn, Bingo, Queens. Bingo, you're better than Queens. Double Babysitter, Piggyback, Escape, and Muffin Cone. Muffin Cone? No, I think I agree with Muffin Cone being top of A. Or B, excuse me. Do I like Escape better than Muffin Cone? I think I do. Dance Mode, bottom of A, followed by Cafe. I like Dance Mode better than I like Cafe. Followed by Army, followed by The Show, followed by Granddad. I like Army. No, actually I like The Show right there. Flat Pack and Stump Fest. And then Seesaw, The Quiet Game, Squash, Charades, Barky Boats, and Sleepy Time. That's really good. That is really good. Let me save that so we can at least... I don't know when I'm going to do the rest of this, so I at least want to have this for reference in case, for whatever reason, I lose this. Let me delete that. That was fun. I do... Oh, it is actually past 10, isn't it? I do need to go to bed. That was fun. Thanks for hanging out. I do have Echo the Dolphin planned for Tuesday. Do I want to play Echo the Dolphin? I feel like I do. We'll see. I'll think about it later. That's a problem for tomorrow night, though. And by tomorrow night, I mean Tuesday. Tomorrow night, I'm going to rest. No stream tomorrow. Next stream is on Tuesday. We'll be doing something. Probably Echo the Dolphin. Thanks for hanging. Do something that excites you. Love you. Say it back. Bye. Mwah.
Okay, Chief, take him away. I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.